I'm from Cheyenne River. I'd go back there in the summer months. I lived there a little bit growing up. But when I grew up here, away from family, growing up in Grand Forks, Fargo, and Wapaton, meeting non-native people and being friends with, my best friends are non-native, as well as native, from that area. People I met where I went to University of North Dakota. So I come from these backgrounds. As much as I didn't really like North Dakota, the home of it, because South Dakota is my home. I love that feel. That's where I come from. But growing up here, I didn't grow up with this racist thinking that white people hate native people all the time and you have to have that grudge. I was brought up in a home that said, if you encounter that, let us know. How many of you grew up in your younger years where you were called derogatory names and you had to think of a society? Now you're not thinking of a boy or a young girl, you're thinking of how to be as an adult when you're 8 years old. That's what we grew up with as people of color. So that blockade that's down there, how that sets the precedent, that tone, the tone that comes from the governor, you know what it felt like? It felt like what black people went through in the South. There's the colored line, there's the white line, and whites only, coloreds only. So when I got stopped, and I had a friend that was a non-native person ahead of me, and I said, let's just do a test, see what they say to you. Didn't say anything. Didn't ask him for an ID. Didn't ask where the where his destination was, where he was going. They just let him through. Oh, okay, go ahead. But when I came through, what are you doing here? Show me your ID. Where are you going? What's your business? Why? And when I asked that, then all of a sudden I became hostile. These people are taking away my right as a civil citizen. Who has the right? I don't have the right to come to any one of you right here to take away your civil rights. But why is it that people with a badge and a gun think they have a right to do that? To set up a blockade. That blockade's a military blockade. That's what you see in front of the bases in Iran, Afghanistan. This declaration of everything, I've been telling media, international media, we are being targeted for defending our land and our water rights. You didn't see that happen when Baltimore had riots, when Ferguson had riots. But when indigenous people that are still the original landowners are fighting for what has always been ours, then all of a sudden we're the bad people. Indigenous people are taught with that love and compassion. There's many times that I had to swallow that pill where somebody beat me up that I had to still go up to them and consider them a friend. We're taught that. And I sure as hope that humanity is with that. But what you see with these energy companies and these oil companies, they don't have that. They want to have the fattest pockets out there. That's all they care about. They care about the time of now, what they can get. But with money, we think beyond that. Because we're thinking the next 7 generations. And you guys are included in that.
Yeah.
As my grandmother came up here and stated, as keepers of the sacred pipe, we do not deny anybody of color to come and pray with us. If you know of somebody that's a pipe carrier, you can go up and ask them if they can pray. And you just ask them kindly. We cannot deny you that. And that means non-native people a lot of times that come to us. They come from all over the world to come to the homelands of the Cheyenne River there to pray with people who are Chanupa carriers. You guys have a right for that. I cannot deny you that. Because that's the love and compassion that I was taught. And that's our traditional way of life. So to say that there's a line that exists between you and me, it doesn't. Because that was history long ago. And we're almost, and I say almost, tapping that can to pop, because it's lateral oppression all over again. You don't have a right to judge me, I don't have a right to judge you. So I just ask of you guys for that love and compassion as you go home. And as Uncle Russell, or excuse me, as Uncle Clyde was saying, when you go home to your families, I know that first hit you, of your wife, of your husband, of your kids and your grandkids, of all your loved ones. Because if you don't see that and you don't feel that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that love and compassion doesn't exist in your soul. I know it does. But it's okay as men to reach in there and say, for the betterment of humanity, we need to look after each other. If you look after me, I'll look after you. I guarantee you that. Thank you.